Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the class of Basic Statistics 2, and now we are going to start our last portion of our course, which is statistical inference. This is last chapter of the of your course, named as statistical inference. What is statistical inference? The process of drawing inference about the population on the basis of information contained in a sample taken from the population is called statistical inference. Now, what is statistical inference? It is the process in which we draw the inference, or on which we make the decisions about the population. We know you are familiar with the population. What is population? Population is the whole group or the large group of data, and sample is the small part of that population. So if the whole population is not known or not available, so we use sample data, and only sample data is available to us. So on the basis of that sample, we will draw some inference, or we will make some decision about the population on the basis of sample data. This is called the statistical inference. Now, this statistical inference has two main types. One is estimation and the other one is testing of hypothesis. And before going to the estimation and testing of hypothesis, we first need to know about the difference between these two terms, which is estimate and estimator. An estimate is a numerical value of the unknown parameter obtained by applying a rule or formula called an estimator. Now, estimate is just a numerical value, a single numerical value, which is called estimate. And this estimate is obtained from the estimator, which is a rule, or in easy word, which is the formula which we are going to use, is called the estimator. And the result which comes from this estimator is called estimate. Okay, in other words, an estimator is the rule or method that is used to estimate a parameter, whereas an estimate is the numerical value obtained by substituting the sample observations in the rule or formula. For example, we all are familiar with the formula of sample mean, which is equal to x bar. X bar is equal to summation x by n. Now, this x bar up till here is the formula, or is the estimator, and this value, this answer 5, is the estimate. So this is the main difference between the estimate and the estimator. Okay, now first type is estimation, the process by which we obtain an estimate of the unknown value of population parameter by using the sample observations x1, x2 up to so on xn taken from the population. Now, what is estimation? Estimation is the procedure by which we obtain an estimate about what? About the population parameter. We all know what is a population parameter. So here the population parameter will be unknown, because the population is also unknown. So on the basis of these sample observations which will be given to us, we will estimate the value of this population parameter. This procedure is called estimation. For example, we may estimate the mean and variance of the population by computing the mean and the variance of a sample drawn from the population. So I hope this would be clear to you. Now, estimation further has two types. One is point estimation and the other one is interval estimation. Point estimation, the process in which the true but unknown value of population parameter is estimated by using a single value calculated from the sample, is called point estimation. If you do the process of estimation by using just a single value, one value, so it is called point estimation. For example, the value sample mean, that is x bar, is a point estimation of the population mean, which is mu. So we know that the value of mean for one question or for one data is a single value. So with this single value we will estimate the population mean, that is mu. So it is called the point estimation. Okay, here an example is given, which is also given in your book. This is example number 15.1 from chapter number 15. So a random sample of n is equal to 6 here, has the elements 6, 10, 13, 14, 18 and 20. Compute the point estimate of number 1 is population mean and number 2 is population standard deviation. So we have the sample values here, and now we have to find the point estimates of these what population mean and population standard deviation. Now as population mean is not given to us, but just a sample is given to us, so we find sample mean is equal to summation x by n. Summation x means sum of all the values divided by number of all the values. So here we get 13. So the point estimate of the population mean mu is 13.5, and this x bar, which is the formula, it is called estimator. This 13 is called estimate and the formula is called estimator. Now for second part, the sample standard deviation. The formula for standard deviation is this, that summation x minus x bar whole square divided by n whole under root. So we will subtract mean from each of the values, each of the observation, and taking the square of the differences, then divided by 6, and at the end we will take, here we have taken differences, then squares, then we have added it, and then after subtraction and under taking under root, we got the result 4.68. Now the point estimate of the population standard deviation sigma is 4.86, and this formula is the estimator. Okay. um Properties of a good point estimator. Now point estimator should have these four properties to be a good point estimator. So first one is unbiasedness, consistency, efficiency and sufficiency. So one by one we will discuss these. Unbiasedness. An estimator is defined to be unbiased if the statistic used as an estimator has its expected value equal to the true value of population parameter being estimated. Expected value, as we have discussed in sampling portion, that expected value is the mean of the sampling distribution of that parameter or that estimator which you are going to use. So when you take the expectation of that and it becomes equal to the original or true parameter value, this property is called unbiasedness. To make it more clear, let we have theta hat. This is theta hat. This is a Greek letter theta hat. Be an estimator of a parameter theta. This is theta hat, this is a small letter, and this is its capital letter theta. So let theta hat be an estimator of a parameter theta, then theta hat be called an unbiased estimator if expected value of theta hat is equal to theta. So when you take expectation and it becomes the parameter, or it's become equal to the parameter, this property is called unbiasedness. Second property is consistency. An estimator is said to be consistent if the estimator becomes closer and closer to the population parameter being estimated as the sample size n increases. Okay, consistency. In consistency, if an estimator is not unbiased, if the estimator is biased, but when you increase the sample size and it becomes biased, it becomes unbiased. So or the property of unbiasedness verifies when this n increases. This is called consistency. This means that when you repeat a large number of time, when you repeat an experiment a large number of time, or when you increase the size of n, it becomes biased. So here again we have theta hat is a consistent estimator of parameter theta if any arbitrarily small positive quantity e. For example, the limit, if you increase the limit of n up to infinity, so the probability that this will become very small, this is e. E is any arbitrary value which is very small, and it will become less than that value. The probability is 1, means it is a sure event that when you increase the size, or when n becomes very large, this theta is become equal to this theta hat becomes equal to this theta, then this theta hat is said to be consistent estimator. Then we have efficiency. An unbiased estimator is defined to be efficient if its variance is smaller than the variance of other estimator of the same parameter. If let we have two estimators, theta hat 1 and theta hat 2 are unbiased estimator of the same parameter. It is possible that for one parameter there can be two or more estimators. So if we have two unbiased estimators for a parameter theta, then the estimator having smaller variance is said to be efficient estimator. In simple words, an estimator having smaller variance is called the efficient estimator. Here theta 1 variance of theta 1 hat is less than variance of theta 2 hat, so that's why theta 1 hat is the efficient estimator. Last property is sufficiency. An estimator is defined to be sufficient if the estimator uses all the information that is contained in the sample. For example, the sample mean x bar is equal to sum of all the value. It uses all the values, the sum of all the values, and also the number of all the values. It involves all the values in the sample, so it is called the sufficient estimator. This is all for today. Thank you.